The life cycle of phones are insanely short, like usually about a year, which is ridiculous when you consider the price of these flagship phones. And as silly as it might seem to even say it, the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus are about to be put out to pasture to make way for the Galaxy S10. So as we make way for the new, let's take a final, last look revisited at the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. So for this one, sorry about it in advance, I'm gonna adopt you, at least temporarily, into my family. My youngest Zach turned 3 on February 3rd, and instead of wanting a big party, he just wanted to go to Disneyland. So I took everybody with me, including my 4.5-month pregnant wife and my 5-year-old son Nate. All of us grabbed the S9 Plus and we went to Disney for the day. So let's head out to the happiest place on earth. So I don't know if you have kids, but mine are super into trains, so that's where our day at Disneyland started. Are you guys all excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, what ride? And what ride are we on?
The chill.
Here we go! So while we were sitting on the train, I was looking at the beautiful 6.2-inch QHD screen that's 15% brighter than the outgoing S8, and it's mostly noticeable outdoors. All right, so I'm just gonna say this as a matter of fact at this point. I'm not gonna belabor it. Samsung screens are the best in the industry, and it's not even close. It just looks good no matter where you are or what you are looking at. The design of the Galaxy S9 Plus has held up pretty well. It's essentially the same design language as the S8, but it still works, and the phone still feels the part of a flagship. It feels premium, it looks premium, and it's generally held up well. So generally with most of the flagship phones that we keep for a long time, we protect them. In this case, we're rocking a D-brand skin on the back to keep the back scratch free. Sometimes my phone is in the same pocket as my keys. So the D-brand skin helps, keep those nasty scratches off of it. If you like the look of it or you want to pick up a skin for your own, we'll link to them down below. If we were in a world where the Pixel 3 didn't exist, I feel pretty confident saying the dual aperture rocking cameras on the 9 Plus are in the convo for at least best in the business. But, Pixel 3 does exist. It seems pretty weird to say this, but the camera module itself actually has RAM built in, and the resulting pictures look, awesome, especially in ideal lighting. They look way less processed than on previous Samsung phones too, which is nice to be able to finally say. It did a pretty good job also on low light, especially with noise reduction, but the same thing here. In a world without night sight, I'd say, hey, what an awesome job, Samsung, you deserve a pat on the back. But again, night sight exists, so this is a second best camera for low light situations. So the phone can also take super slow-mo at 960 frames per second. I didn't really use it that much, but thought this was a good time to test it out. So my oldest, Nate, went through a pretty decent growth spurt recently, and he was finally tall enough to go on pretty much every roller coaster at Disney. So we decided to try Big Thunder Mountain for his first ever roller coaster. First roller coaster, high five! Yeah. I honestly gave it a 50% chance that he'd actually get on, but to my surprise, he jumped right on the ride. To my complete surprise, the little dude absolutely loved it. And also to my surprise, the ride gave us a pretty clear look at the upcoming Star Wars land at Galaxy Edge. In fact, he loved the ride so much, we went on again. But this time he asked to sit up in the very front. And honestly, it was probably my proudest moment as a father. So since my wife and Zach obviously couldn't go on Big Thunder Mountain because pregnant woman and a toddler, we stopped for a Disney staple. We had a churro break. I'm gonna be honest. I definitely did not need to eat the second half of both my kids' churros, but here we were with me scarfing them down. It was also completely unnecessary to Disney experience, and probably even this video, but I forced it in there anyway. And also, the churro of the Galaxy S9, let's talk about Bixby. So maybe it's the best invention since the churro, but Google Assistant's done everything I ever needed, and so I never really used Bixby outside of accidentally hitting the button and quickly canceling. So I was obviously outside waiting in lines, inside in lines, and with sunglasses on and off, and Samsung's Intelligent Scan, which combines iris and face unlock, worked pretty well in pretty much every single scenario, never once failing to unlock, which you take it either way. It was either a sign that it's amazing or incredibly unsecure. I'm choosing to go with secure. It also did unlock way faster than my initial review, so nice job to Samsung for at least improving the software there. All right, so now we're about 3 hours into the day, and surprisingly, not a single meltdown from either of the kids. So we decided to press our luck and see how good they were driving. So we headed on over to Autopia. And this is a good spot to give some advice. Never get behind the wheel with a 3-year-old. I mean, obviously, yeah, but despite being on rails, he slammed me from side to side, and my old neck kind of hurt after the fact. Hey, look where you're going! Oh no! Turn, turn! So after we rode Autopia, I decided to take a bit of a break, and I showed my kids AR emoji, which marks the only time since the initial review I actually used AR emoji. They, and I'm guessing like most people, were enthralled for the first 2 minutes and very quickly lost interest when Goofy walks by. So my kids love Nemo, but I still expected my toddler to completely lose his being in a confined space, but held it together like a champ. And I'm gonna choose to credit great parenting here and not the threats of us having to leave if he lost it. Oh, and also here's some more low light shots and some bad looking B-roll inside the submarine. So it was at this point I told Nate there was a Star Wars ride, which having just turned 5, he was finally allowed to see the movies, and little dude was pumped. So we went on over to Star Tours, but not before meeting some stormtroopers who took a shot at us, but predictably they missed. Ever since my kids met a real life stormtrooper, they've had just Star Wars completely on their mind.
And C-3PO makes boop, 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 boop. What are you doing, R2-D2? Get back here.
So Zach was too short, and my wife was too pregnant to go on it, so Nate and I went off together to the moons of Endor, while they...
Small world. Again.
Are you excited to go into outer space? Yeah. So it was starting to get dark, so we decided it was probably time to start heading home, and I've been playing with the 9 Plus pretty much all day, and the 3500 milliamp hour battery was still holding strong at about like 55-ish%. So that about summed up my year-long testing with battery life. It was great. You'll get through a full day. After that, charge it. I feel like that's the best you can expect from a phone. Get through one day. You're sleeping at night, just plug your phone in while you're sleeping. So as of this filming, I didn't have One UI on the phone, which was kind of a bummer, and the beta has been closed. By the time you watch this, the phones will probably have One UI already on them. I was a little disappointed. The phone I was using was running Android 8 instead of Android Pie with Samsung Experience 9.0, so I can't talk about how things will change when One UI hits, but I'm assuming they'll get better looking and probably a little smoother. All right, so you guys are free to go back to your own family now. Hope you guys enjoyed coming along with mine for a day at Disneyland with the Galaxy S9 Plus. It was an awesome phone then, it's an awesome phone now, and even though there's a new one coming, or might already be out by the time you watch this with a higher number, still consider what I think is one of the best flagships of 2018, especially with those sweet discounts. And at the very least, it's a good phone to take with you on a Disneyland experience.